Well, he attack me, but Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
Up Move Nation, now welcome to the channel. Your man Jaden Chase, another one that we gonna bring on another reasoning on the topic of current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through, but then find the reason insightful. Well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then put a like on the video. Now, let's get right into the reasoning. Now Nation, Reneto Adams has confirmed statements made by ex-members that whether because they were prominent members of the JCF as high-ranking officials at the Pathway Church or because of other reasons, but the police disregarded reports made about the organization by ex-members. Now, Nation, Reneto Adams was quoted as saying that these type of practices are carried out in secret in Jamaica, and the JCF has had numerous reports of this ongoing phenomenon, and it is just because of the media or the extraordinary way in which this situation took place that exposed them. Adams said some people who want healing or to get rich or even get a visa, they have made people spill blood and take the lives of individuals close to them to achieve wants, Adams told the Observer. Adams was also quoted as saying, "You know the lodge, you know the obia, you know the voodoo. Many of them demand very extreme conditions for their members to meet certain requirements." Adams also told the tabloids that during his years in the constabulary force, he learned that criminals, especially those who had been charged and faced imprisonment, would turn to organizations who practiced these rituals to seek their freedom. Adams said these individuals are forced to do strange things to ensure their acquittal. You would be surprised by the things they do. They go and raid graves, they raid coffins, they raid cemeteries, and you would be surprised to know the level they would go to achieve these things. And also you'd be surprised to know some of the members of society that are involved in these organizations. Now, Adams also exposed who Kevin Smith drew inspiration from when organizing or structuring his organization. He said it was Alexander Bedward, a preacher of Jamaican revivalism, who was also known as the Lord of Augustown and leader of the Jamaica Native Baptist Free Church in the early 1900s. Bedward told his followers to sell their possessions, including own the land, and give him all the profits. He also convinced some 30,000 loyal supporters that they could fly back to Africa, and they climbed into trees in Augustown. Bedward would always exert control over the people who attended his church, and he also forced the members to wear all white, which Adams pointed to which was part of the instructions given by Smith to his congregation via Facebook that read, "The ark is loading now at 123 Albion Road. Leave immediately and dress in white." Now Adams further went on to say, police this time around did the right thing. He was quoted as saying, "They went in and had these people arrested. I am only shocked in the sense that this was happening during lockdown and the police never had the intelligence, it would seem." Adams also further went on to theorize that similar activities may account for rising crime statistics across the island. Him said, "People go and kill because they are told by these leaders that human blood have to run. So all that can be possible, even if it is a small percentage that this is happening to." Now, whatever the reason why previous reports that were made by ex-members about practices being carried out by the Pathway Church were ignored are still uncertain. Some have said that, remember, prominent members of the Pathway organization were members of the constabulary force and could have intercepted these reports or heard them doing investigations and step forward with example of these reports from other churches and then explaining them away. Whatever the case is, the officers did act on this occasion. And maybe one of the factors is that in these previous reports and these statements made by ex-members, there was never even any definite tales of lives being taken. It was more severe in these settings. This time, when reports were made, them could have said, oh, well, there are individuals lying lifeless on the compound now. And that would have prompted the security forces to act. And the fact that Mobay, St. James, where there are JDF soldiers stationed there, and of course, JCF, the joint task force was mobilized and them act on information given by members and residents. Now, Adams is simply saying that what is taking place, or what has taken place in this situation, is something that is occurring across the island, not just at the Pathway Church, but that these activities are carried out in secret, as we would expect. This situation was also being carried out in secret. Remember, Kevin Smith tell the congregations here who for left them phone them yard, wrap up in a file paper, and who did show up with for them phone, officers then did find some phone, wrap up in a file paper. So even the people who did show up with their mobile devices were instructed to do the same. And maybe this is just the wake-up call what the nation need. Now, Adams also took the opportunity to call out certain church leaders. He was quoted as saying, the church has put itself into a very precarious situation. And he said he wanted to be very cautious while making this statement. But many of the leaders who are leading their flock are doing so and carrying them astray. And instead of being spiritual, some churches are more physical and practical, with a view of material gain. As it has been stated that many sermons are geared towards gaining financial help, financial need, helping out financial wants, even though some would say these are situations faced by the congregation and that hence these are the things that they would want help with. But we have always seen the affluent life lived by pastors in reflection to those lived by congregation members. Now this is different in different circles, and we should not use one situation to judge all of these organizations. That would be unfair in nature. But as I said, this situation definitely serves as an eye-opener for Jamaicans. It has always been stated that per square mile in the Caribbean, Jamaica as an island has the most churches per square mile than any other Caribbean island in the Caribbean diaspora. Jamaica even has a theologian school where you can study to become a pastor. Adams has said that somewhere along the line, it went from being something spiritually motivated to it being a career choice. And when it becomes a career choice, then it will have a dollar value attached to it, because lifestyle has to be maintained. And as we have all seen, the affluent lifestyle lived by these organization leaders. So talk to me in the comment section. I feel like what's the reasons why officers are the ex-members didn't state which police stations they made these reports to. But why do you believe that the reports were disregarded? Was it simply because the reports were being made against a church? Or because they were high-ranking members on the Pathway Church who were also members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force? Talk to me. I see the one called Jaden Chase. That's the correspondent, the God's representative. I'm reminded, if you're new to the channel, new to the movement, just a pass through, but you like the reason, of course, I like the point of view. Well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them for check it out. Like I can also close back into the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them to check out channel reasoning. Join the discussion. Comment section with 24/7. Never lack it. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there, and we can continue the reasoning via the comment section. Your settings go. And for those who don't, they man both settings for and my sentiments for you and yours are going to live, love, and prosper. Now stay tuned.